Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name is Dylan, and before I get into this video, if you're interested in being a Lyft driver, go ahead and use my link in the description to sign up. You're gonna get a sign-on bonus, and you can start making $20 to $30 an hour. And I think right now is the best time to sign up, and I'm gonna explain to you why. So today, Lyft announced that they're going to file for an IPO, or they already filed for their IPO. So they're gonna go public in the stock market, which is huge news because Lyft is the first ride-sharing company to do this, and they actually beat Uber to the race. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about what does this mean for drivers and what does this mean for everyday people? You know, what does this mean for the ride-sharing industry? Should you invest in Lyft? That's a great question. We're gonna talk about that. But before we do that, I'm just gonna dive right into the articles, and I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna highlight some key points from these articles. I'm gonna go over 3 articles, okay? Very quickly, so stay tuned. And if you're interested in trends and figuring out if you can make money in the stock market or just wanna know more about Lyft, this is a great video for you. You know, you can make a lot of money in the stock market. I know it's risky, so invest conservatively, but in today's video, I'm gonna show you why I think it's important and a good idea to invest in Lyft. So let's jump right into the articles. So the first article that we're going over is from Business Insider, and it says Lyft has a clear early mover advantage of beating Uber to an IPO. Uber has been talking about going for an IPO for a while, but Lyft, these are the 2 Lyft founders right here, look like pretty cool guys. Logan Green and John Zimmer. So Lyft has begun regulatory steps for initial public offering, which is an IPO, on Thursday. While both Lyft and its competitor Uber are deeply unprofitable, as you guys might know, Uber and Lyft, they're actually not making tons of money. But they are, they're growing in revenue, but they're not profitable. So one analyst says the economics look better for Lyft. Lyft could be worth more than $19 billion in the near term. Lyft on Thursday said it confidentially filed a draft registration statement with the SEC for an initial public offering that could come early next year. So this is gonna happen within the next 1 to 2 months. While the ride-hailing company is still much smaller than Uber, its early entry to the stock market ahead of other competing firms will give it a key advantage. Lyft clearly had early mover advantage, which is gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. So as I'm sure some of you guys know, being first is everything, especially in business. If you're first to market, you're gonna win. And that's pretty much what happened with Uber. They were the first to the ride-sharing market, and that's why they're winning. However, Lyft is the first to file an IPO. So they're the first, which means that when people are trying to invest in ride sharing, everyone's talking about ride sharing is the future, autonomous vehicles. People want to invest in it, and now their first opportunity to invest is going to be Lyft. So what do you think people are going to do? They're going to invest in Lyft because that's their only option to invest, which means the stock price of Lyft is going to go way up. That's what I think. The stock market sometimes is unpredictable, but I think because of the fact that this is the first ride-sharing, ride-hailing company that's going public, I think the stock price is gonna go up and up for a while until Uber comes in as well. So I think it'd be a good idea to buy some Lyft stock as soon as you can. So it says right here that the companies are losing hundreds of millions of dollars, which is crazy, but the companies are still worth so much because of the revenue that comes in. Up here it says there's a whole range of estimates out there. Some people estimate autonomous vehicles will totally revolutionize the benefit and make 70% of their costs going away. So as you guys probably know, autonomous vehicles are well on the way, and one of the biggest costs is paying the drivers. So if Lyft doesn't have to pay any drivers, which if you don't know, spoiler alert, that's their plan. That's where they're gonna make all their money. And that's where Uber is trying to head as well. Google's also testing out a car. It's through Alphabet, their parent company, but with Waymo. The company's called Waymo. It's owned by Google, pretty much. And they're already testing out their autonomous vehicles in Arizona. that the people are actually already using it in Arizona. I don't know if you heard about that. That was announced yesterday. This isn't necessarily a deal breaker. There's still plenty of losing public companies. Tesla, for instance, recently turned a rare profit in its most currently earnings. Let's see. Okay, that's the first article. Let's go to the second one now. Yeah, so this is actually where I first heard about this. Let me close all that here. That's just my class notes. This is where I first heard about the IPO. I got this in my email from AngelList. AngelList is a great company. But yeah, this is what they're talking about. Just highlighting some key points here, keeping this brief. Over the last few years, Uber and Lyft have torn through round after round of funding, growing from $120 billion and $15 billion valuation respectively. The lingering question has always been, when will the IPO? Now we know. CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said the company is considering a 2019 offering. That's for Uber. So Uber is considering doing it in next year. What are the upsides for Lyft? Both Uber and Lyft have yet to post a profit. We already talked about that. If everything plays out well for Lyft, which is 3 years younger than Uber, the company could see its stock ride a wave of investor optimism. Like I said, people want to invest in ride sharing, and their only ability to invest in ride sharing is going to be through Lyft. So this is crazy, guys. This stock price is going to go so high because literally it's the only one out there. It's the only stock for ride sharing. So, you know, people are going to be investing millions of dollars, which means the stock price is going to go up. But regardless of how Lyft's IPO plays out, all signs point to 2019 being the year of breakout tech IPOs. It will be fun to see how these mammoth exits shake up the industry. Wow, great diction here, mammoth exits. That's the guy. Anyways, okay, jumping into the next article really quick. I know you guys have been watching for a while, so I'm gonna try to finish this up really quickly. Let's see, this is from Recode. Those were just all my notes. Okay, Recode, why Lyft had to be Uber to an IPO filing. The game theory behind the next phase of an old flight. It looks like Lyft is going to beat Uber to the public market, and that's not just timing, it's game theory. As private companies, Lyft has long been number 2 in the US ride-hailing dogfight to Uber, the global behemoth with more diverse revenue streams and more market share. But now we're entering into a new phase in what has been a financial, whereas public companies, Lyft will now have a chance over time to slowly chip away at Uber's last valuation, which is about 5 times greater than Lyft's. So Lyft is basically, they're going to be growing at a much more rapid pace now that they're going to have their IPO and they're going to get tons of investors. You know, and the race is gonna you know, be very side by side with Uber and Lyft. Uber's not likely to arrive on a stock exchange until the middle of next year at the earliest. So guys, like I said, being first is everything. Lyft is about six months ahead. Here are a few reasons why Lyft decisions is the right one. Lyft will have the first crack at public market investors who feel they can't invest in both US ride-hailing companies. If you're an institutional investor who's eager, after years of watching 2 meteoric private health startups of mass value to get exposure, there will be a few months during which you will have one option and one option only, Lyft. Guys, I think that's quite enough. You know, I wanted to keep this short, but I think that shows you guys just, you know, the importance of getting there first. If you're interested in starting a company, or if you're trying to start a company, you know, try to think of a way of where you can go, where you can be first to market. Because if you're first, you know, that's everything. Think of the scooter companies. Oh, I was going to tell you about this. I'll tell you in a second. But think of the scooter companies. You know, the Bird, Lime, these companies that are just threw out a bunch of scooters out of nowhere. They were the first to do that, and like now they're huge. These scooter companies are worth billions of dollars now because they're first and everyone knows their brand. But what I was going to say is that the crazy thing about Lyft in this particular sense is that nobody really knows where they're going to go. You know, Lyft just they started doing scooters as well. They started doing bikes, ride-sharing bikes. They put out a bunch in San Diego. I think they put out some scooters in like Colorado or something, or in the Bay as well. And people don't know is what Lyft is going to be. You know, is it a car company? Is it a ride-sharing company? Is it an autonomous vehicle company? you know, Lyft is doing like a bunch of different things right now. And here is the most important part for drivers. If you're a driver, this is why this is important to you. What does this mean for Lyft drivers? Basically, my theory is that up until now, up until Lyft, up until Uber files for their IPO, and even after that, you know, so for the next 6 months, Lyft is going to be doing a bunch of things for the drivers in order for PR and in order to, you know, boost their stock price. So they're going to be doing bigger bonuses, they're going to be doing bigger benefits, bigger perks for their drivers in order to get people, you know, in order to get everybody hyped about their IPO. And, you know, they have about 6 months or so until Uber hits their IPO. So, you know, we don't know, but we do, what I think is that Lyft is gonna start treating their drivers really good. And I think Uber is as well. I think that's just natural, you know, they're really competing, you know, who's gonna be the first to IPO well. And, you know, Lyft is already there first. So anyways, guys, that's just my 2 thoughts. Sorry, this was a super long video. I think, you know, it's just necessary to get this information out there. What do you guys think? Let me know, you know, do you agree with me? Do you think the stock price of Lyft is gonna go way up? You know, are they gonna beat Uber? You know, this is the race. You know, as you guys know, I really like both companies. I think Uber and Lyft are doing incredible things. They're super sustainable. You know, they're helping alleviate traffic. I know some people have opposing views. They think they're making more traffic, but in reality, you know, they're doing crazy things. You know, I could never, you know, just tap it for a phone I could never just tap my phone for an Uber or a Lyft. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Again, if you're interested in being a Lyft driver, I'm just gonna do Lyft since this is, you know, a Lyft themed video. If you're interested in being a Lyft driver, go ahead and use my link in the description for a sign-on bonus. And make sure to hit subscribe. At 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away dash cams. So if you want a dash cam, if you're a rideshare driver, or if you just want a dash cam and want to resell it, or if you just want one for your car, I think it's great for protection if you ever get into an accident or you ever you know, run into any issues with passengers. It's just great to have that footage because you know, it's proof and evidence, especially if you get in an accident, somebody tries to blame it on you, you know, you have proof of you know, exactly what happened, you know, for the truth. So at 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing dash cam giveaway, so make sure to subscribe so you know when that happens. Anyways, guys, sorry for the super long outro. See you guys next time. All right, it's been another episode of the Rideshare Hub. All right, bye, guys.